All right. We have about 18 on right now out of 39 registered, so that's good. All right, guys, I'm going to give a couple minutes, just a minute or two for people to get on. Since this is the first time that we're doing our team call this way, we're used to doing the Zoom where you click right into the link and you're on the call, but I know many people are not accustomed to having to register and receive an email to get on. So we'll give it a couple, 22 are on, so we're doing good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not too loud outside. Are there seats out there?
Yeah, it's warm.
Yeah.
It's very warm in Florida. Yeah. So I'm gonna pop back into the cozy Starbucks once I talk a little bit.
Yeah. Nice.
I don't want to, disrupt the clientele of Starbucks.
It's probably like 100 degrees there.
I don't know what it is. It's hot. And mostly it's humid right now because we've had a lot of rain, so it's just like stifling hot. Hey, I'm not complaining. I just came from Rochester where it's,
yeah,
the climate is not always desirable. All right, guys, I don't want to, I hate to waste time on these calls because this is a sacred hour for me. For example, I had to leave my house because we have no Wi-Fi in my new home yet because Cox cable won't come until you actually have a television. So here I am at Starbucks. I'm going to introduce our guest speaker outdoors before I head inside. But so I'm really excited tonight. We are talking with Ellen Ludwig. I had the pleasure of meeting Ellen in Cancun at the Success Club trip. She is on my Success Partners team, Sarah Lenore. Many of you have had the pleasure of meeting Sarah. She is a coach that I've connected with, and this is why we encourage Success Partners. We mentioned it in our fast track training. A Success Partner is just so. It's hugely important to helping you to push yourself. And I find there's a lot of value in having a Success Partner outside of your own team because you get to share ideas. And so Sarah introduced me to Ellen, and I really was excited to talk to her because our team is really good at using clean eating challenges to hit Success Club. Well, Ellen is very successful at hitting Success Club 10 and way beyond without clean eating challenges. And I thought, wow, this is something that our team could really learn from, myself included. So that's why I'm especially excited to talk to Ellen. So let me just share a little bit about her before she talks about her success and her, her story, how she got started. But I want to kind of talk to you about her, what qualifies her to share with us today. She's been a coach since May of last year. Wow, that's not even a year. That's a little bit over a year. That's not very long. And she is 1-star qualifying. She has a Success Club 5 All-Star. That means she's pretty much hit Success Club almost every month since she's been a coach. And she's hit Success Club 20 plus 10 out of those 14 months. That's crazy. 20, double digits is crazy, but 20, that's awesome. And Success Club 40 plus, that's 40, 3 out of 14 months as a coach. So that's pretty incredible. And so I can't wait to hear from her. And she's going for 5-star elite this year. So we're really cheering her on, excited to see, her continue her journey this year. So I'm going to try to mute myself and hand it over to her and then head into Starbucks where it's cool and balmy, and let Ellen take it on here. So go ahead, Ellen. Thanks for being here.
Thanks, Megan. So just big thanks to Megan for allowing me to be on your team call. This is actually my first time being a guest presenter, so very excited. Just a little bit about myself. Megan already told you I started in May of 2014, and I actually started, met my sponsor through my sister, and I immediately found out she was a Beachbody coach, and I thought, that sounds like something I might want to do when I kind of heard what she did, and I joined her accountability group with Turbo Fire, which is my soulmate workout. Absolutely loved it. I'm sure it's changed some of your lives. It totally changed my life, not only from a physical standpoint, just getting in the best shape of my life, to actually becoming a coach and getting started with that. So I've always been into health and fitness. So I will say that within my warm market, I feel like that was an advantage that I had just like coming out of the gates. Like when I first started, I came out running. I started May 18th. I actually hit Success Club in May. That last week in May, and then in June I had like 20 that first month, because honestly I just shared it with every single person that I knew, because I was just so much in love with the program and Shakeology. So that little bit, just having that background, no, I wasn't like a group fitness instructor, I wasn't a personal trainer, I just really was passionate about cooking and making healthy meals, and I was always sharing that with people, and I was always sharing my workouts too. So I honestly think that helped with some of the success that I had in the beginning. So I am going to share my screen, and I've got a little, let's see, I might be able to just go over. Can you all see that? Let's see, not yet. Okay. Okay. Back to the beginning. Okay, so I wanted to share my tips. I've just put together a few slides for you guys. So I know I'm a visual person and I like to see things, so I thought you guys would too. So there are two ways that I invite people, and that is through my like page messages and my 21-day fix specific posts. So the key here is, practicing the 3 vital behaviors and invite. And honestly, that is my number one priority every single day. And that was my number one priority from the very first day that I started. So I've just always been out there inviting, and I go for way more than, like they say 3. I go for way more than 3 a day. So I'm going to take you through how I go through these two things, my like page messages and my 21 days fix post. So just wanted to show you, this is just, just everyone, probably a lot of you have a like page. This is mine. I go to the section in my like page that just gives me the list of names by day. So I'm frequently in this page.
Hey, Ellen.
Yep, can you see?
I'm seeing the only slide that's showing on the screen right now is your last slide. Is it on your side? Are you
No.
seeing your beginning slide?
I do, yeah, and it's. Let me see. It says it's sharing your screen. So let me go back maybe and
try. Let's see.
Try something. Okay. Yeah. Go back. Just bear with us. We're just getting the hang of the Google chat.
No worries.
You see it?
I see your beginning slide. I see where it says tips for hitting Success Club 10 and beyond.
Okay. Do you see my next slide?
No, it looks like it's still, perhaps if you just don't go to presentation mode, perhaps if you just click to the next slide from your like.
How about that?
I'm still seeing your first slide.
Okay. I'll do that. Okay, how about now?
Yeah, well, yeah, that's gonna work. It's not presentation mode probably for you, but we can see what you're trying to show us. So let's just let's just go that route.
Perfect. Okay, yeah, we're good. Okay, so we got to, I was just showing my like page, if you're not familiar, or if you don't have one, this is just kind of how I've set mine up. And then I go to my new likes by day. So a tip that I wanted to share with you all is I actually have this saved. I bookmarked it. So it's because sometimes on your like page, Facebook actually just changed something, and it's kind of hard to find your new likes. So once you do, you want to go into your notifications, and you want to click on where your new likes are, and then you want to get into this screen, and I would save it as a bookmark, so then you can frequently go back to it and you're never having an issue finding it. So what I then do is I go through, and everybody's got a different process, so I do want to share with you my process, because my team, we're always talking about, what do we do with these new people that like our page? So I go through, and let's just say like this first name for Amy, I would click on her name, I'd go into her profile, I would take a look at it. If I felt like she looked like somebody who would be a potential customer or a potential coach, then I would go ahead and I would send her my message, which I'm going to go through on my next slide. And I might even send her a friend request as well. And if I think she looks like, she's like really going to be a good customer, maybe I even go as far as paying the $1. So I do frequently pay $1 to send new messages, but I've really had it a lot of times pay off for me. So I felt like that has worked. So going into my like message, this is what I send. I just, it's a quick, like, thank you for liking my page. I tell them a little bit about my page and a little bit about myself, just as far as being passionate about health and fitness. Then I ask them, what are their goals? What are their struggles? How is their nutrition? And then this is really what I think the key is here too, is then I invite them to my accountability group. And that accountability group is my 21-day fix group. I always have one every single month. So, whether we've started or we're in the middle, I don't really care. This just gives me a platform to invite them to that. So this is what I send. And a lot of times, I'm just going to go into a sample conversation. A lot of times they, when they get back to me, they will say, hey, Ellen, I would love to hear details about the group. Sometimes people do offer up their goals right up front, but a lot of times they just say, yeah, hey, the group sounds great. Meal plans sound awesome. Tell me more. So then, and real quick, I'm sharing a sample conversation with you because I feel like myself, like I want to see what other people are saying to their customers, because I just think it's so valuable to hear, and get ideas of how other people are wording things and saying things. So that's why I'm sharing this with you. And actually I have my scripts all saved on my Dropbox too. So, and I frequently go back to those. So then, it's just, I'm getting back to them. And this is the key here that I want to show you, as I always say, I would love to tell you about my group, but I would really want to know your goals and what you're doing for your workouts. So I really try, as we've learned, I don't rush it. I really just try to get an idea of their goals and what they're doing before we, delve into what the group is, and just get them talking a little bit. So you can just see, she's just giving me a little bit more info about what she does. And then I, just go into, my favorite all-around program is the 21-day fix. So sometimes they may say, well, I go to the gym, or I do stuff at home, or I go to classes. And then I usually just say, well, that's great. I'm so glad to hear you're working out. And I will say, would you like me to tell you about my favorite program that has 30-minute workouts and an awesome nutrition plan? So I kind of try to like tee it up. So then they're like, sure, yeah, that sounds great. So just moving on to the next slide, then let's just say, yeah, they say, great. And then I may say, okay, it's called the 21-day fix. And this right here is what I probably copy and paste into, once we get to this point, into every single conversation that I have about the 21-day fix. So I go into my script. Actually, my script is always open on my computer at all times. So it's right there for me. And I'm always talking about the 21-day fix. So I never have to reinvent this, 3 paragraphs, because it's kind of a lot. But really, I'm just detailing a little bit about the 21-day fix with the portion controlled containers and kind of tell them how I've used them. Then we talk about the workouts. And then I say a big part of the program is Shakeology, and I ask them if they're familiar with Shakeology. And then I also tell them a little bit about what they'll get from the accountability group as well. Now, I want to say sometimes I say a big part of the program is Shakeology, and I will do a little paragraph about Shakeology in there. Since this girl was already familiar with Beachbody, I wasn't quite sure if she knew about Shakeology or not. So I never, ever, ever talk about a program without Shakeology. So that's just, if we get down to the very last, nitty gritty price, and they're really like hemming and hawing over it, and and they come back to me like, I really can't afford Shakeology, and we kind of go through all that, then we'll get there. But I never just go in with the program. So, okay. So then she says, yes, how much is it? And now I kind of, I deleted some stuff from this conversation. And I actually want to tell you, this girl told me she wasn't a shake person. She didn't think she would ever be able to drink shakes. And I was actually able to, tell her all the reasons why I love Shakeology, and was able to get her to do it. She loved it. She actually then ended up signing up as a coach too. So then I go into my the price. So of course they always want to know how much it is. Then we talk about the price being $140. And again, this paragraph is another paragraph that, like, every time I talk about price, I just copy and paste this paragraph. And this is how I explain it with getting the 21-day fix for $10. And then I break it down to $4.30 per serving, and try to emphasize that you can't get a meal out or a latte at Starbucks for that price. So that is the same pricing language I always use. And I really feel like the previous slide, that script and this pricing script have worked for me, and I haven't needed to change it yet. And then, it just goes into let me know what you think, or if you're ready to order. And then from there, I didn't include it here, but I actually then send them the steps to ordering. So then I give them the link, and then I break it down how they need to order it. I occasionally will use the Coach online mobile app, but that's like 50-50, whether it works for me or my customers get it or they don't get it. So I find that when I just lay out the steps for them, that works best. So this is my, that's my like page conversation. Obviously a conversation that, that's how, when they go well and they want more, that's how they're laid out, and they can go relatively fast. Now we're going to go into my 21-day fix post. So this is the other way that I am getting new people to send messages to as well, and getting new customers. And I do a 21-day fix group every single month. Occasionally, in July, I ran 2 groups, but I always have one going. I will say, when I first started, I started with Turbo Fire, and I didn't know anything about the 21-day fix. I did sell a little bit of it, just from what I had heard about it. And I really feel like I was honestly missing out when I first joined. I was so into Turbo Fire, but Turbo Fire is not really for that many people. It's kind of a niche market, I feel like. So if you have not done the 21-day fix, or you don't have the 21-day fix, I highly encourage you to do it, learn it, know what it's about, because it is, in my mind, the best program for probably 90 to like 95% of our customers. So it's just my little plug on that there. So I do this post. This is a post that I did in, I believe I did it in June, that worked really well for me. So I used it in June, I used it in July, and I just changed up the picture this month and used it for August as well. So I just liked, just showing like a picture of myself, a little bit, 21-day fix program, and this wording, get my exact workout, meal plan, and me to help you get fit fast, because that's what they're getting. And I felt like that would, people would read that and, really be attracted to that. And then you can see my post here. I'm sharing about how it's transformed so many women's lives, and talk a little bit about how it's made them feel, gain confidence, get into bikinis, and then also, what they're going to get from me, what they're going to get from the group. So generally, then I have them comment below, we get comments, and then I will follow up, and I'll go back in and I will follow up with everyone that commented on my post. And I also follow up with everybody that liked the post as well. So I just wanted to send you, or give you, a sample conversation here, and really it's just a paragraph, because it's all repetitive. It's just going to go back to that same conversation that I showed you before. But if they just said, yeah, yes, please, I want to know more, I don't want to just then send them a message with like everything about it. So I just say this: thank you for commenting or liking my 21-day fix post. Would you like me to give you more information on what it's all about? And then again, I ask them for their goals, what are their struggles. So that I really feel like helps lay the groundwork and doesn't rush it right away. I don't really like to spew the information up front. If they saw my post and they might message me, like, can you give me more information? Then I will go back to them and I will give them more information up front, but I still always like to get an idea of their goals as well up front. So that's the post that I use. Another post that I've used that's worked really well, something similar, I talk about no gym required, because that's what we're all about, right? And I feel like that really worked for me in the fall. It worked for me in the winter. And honestly, I reuse my post a lot. I feel like if something's worked once, I try it again, kind of try it until it doesn't work. I've done videos as well that have worked in the past, but don't be afraid to reuse posts that you've used in the past. Okay, so I really just wanted to summarize my top 5 tips for inviting, and we've talked about this, but the number 1 is goals. And I've said this multiple times, you always want to ask for their goals first. And as I said, like, even if they come to you and they say they're interested or want more info, it's really good to start out by asking their goals, because that's really going to be able to allow you to tell them why you think the 21-day fix is so good for them. And then sympathize with the customer. We always want to be compassionate and show them that, we know it's been hard and we have struggles as well. For me, eating portion controlled is really hard for me. So I always try to, sympathize with that. Third, share. I think a lot of people, when they first start out, it's like, how did you get started? How are you not salesy? And honestly, it's just sharing what has worked for you. And that's what I do on my like page every day. I talk about the 21-day fix on my page a lot. I post videos. I probably do like 3 to 4 videos a week. And a couple of them are usually from either the 21-day fix or the 21-day fix extreme. I talk about it, tell them what I'm doing, that the move was from that. I post recipes, and I give them how they would fit into the containers. So I talk about this program a lot, and the way I was thinking about it and telling my coaches is, it's as if you want people to be like, wow, that 21-day fix program, like, I really want to know about that. What's she doing? She's just always talking about it, and she looks really good, or hopefully, and she's talking about how she's really changed women's lives and they're fitting into bikinis. Like, yes, please, I want to sign up for that too. So, yeah, just don't be afraid to share. And then, then in your messaging, share how it's changed your life or changed your customers' lives. Okay, then fourth is always end the conversation with a question. So you just, always want to make sure. And the one that I use all the time is, do you think you can see yourself doing a program like this? So you give them all that info. And it's like, would you ever consider doing this? Could you see yourself doing this? And it's like, they're just like nodding their head as they're reading that message, and it's like, yes, 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 of course. So I love that message. I love that question. And then lastly, just be yourself. A lot of times, we don't know a lot of people that we're talking to, so just pretend you're talking to one of your best friends. I really feel like that helps. Okay, so those are my top tips for inviting. And lastly, just some keys to success. Be consistent and, post. You've heard it from Megan, you've heard it from your upline, and you've heard it from a lot. Post 2 to 3 times a day on social media. I always do a morning post, and it's usually always something that I work out early in the morning. So it's usually something that had to do with my workout that morning. I'm in a group. I feel like that's what works for me. And you need to find something that really works for you, that it's easy, it comes natural, that you can share with your followers. And then, and then I post in the evening, and a lot of times my evening post is what we had for dinner, maybe something I had for lunch. I just find that because my things are fitness and food. So it kind of makes it easy for me when I'm trying to think of, what to post. And then my third time is usually sometime around lunchtime. And I usually go and I post something on my personal page around that time, like kind of just during the day. And it's usually nothing fitness related, health related. It's usually something that has to do with my kids or a question about my kids. But the more you post, the more people are going to see what you're doing, see what you're putting out there. Don't be afraid when you do a post and you might have like 1 or 2 people like your post. And there's nothing more defeating than you come up with this awesome post. You just think, oh my God, like everybody's going to love it. And, and then it's like crickets and nobody, nobody liked it. Well, sometimes Facebook's so wonky, like it might not have gotten into the news feed. You just never know. Maybe nobody saw it, but don't let that discourage you. I think it's so easy to be like, oh my gosh, nobody liked it. No, I can't like get out there again. Nobody wants to see me. And you just have to keep going and keep going and keep going. Because when I first started, I can't tell you, I never posted on Facebook. So I felt so defeated when nobody was liking my posts at the beginning. And now, it's taken me over a year to really build it up. And I mean, there's definitely like lots of room for improvement, but I just didn't get discouraged, and I just kept going and kept going and kept posting. So I just think it's so important to be consistent with that. And then, along the lines of consistency is, consistency in your workouts, consistency in your healthy eating, consistency in drinking your Shakeology. Okay, so next, follow up. This is so important. Don't be afraid to follow up to 4 times. I just, last night, I got a message from a girl after seeing my 21-day fix post, and she said, hey, I'm finally ready to commit. And I scrolled through her message, and I sent her 4 follow-ups that she never got back to me on. And she said, I'm so sorry, I never got back to you on any of your messages. And you know what? I just said, hey, it's not a big deal. I know you're busy. Probably thought I was crazy, but whatever, glad you're going to do this now. So, you need to have a tracking method, and mine is pen and paper and a highlighter, but however you do it, you need to make sure you're going back through your notebook or your Excel file or whatever program that you use and following up with your customers. It's so important to keep checking in on them, because how many times have we been busy and looked at a message and we were maybe at the grocery store, we were cooking dinner and we didn't get back to them, or you want to buy something, but you're just kind of like dragging your feet. But sometimes all it takes is that one time they're getting back to you. So I also do a mass follow-up at least once a month. I have even gone back as far as like October and just gone through all of my notebooks. And anytime I have a 21-day fix note, I followed up with all those people. And sometimes I'll do that when 21-day fix goes on sale, and I might say, you missed, sorry, you missed it last time, but it's back on sale, and yada, yada, yada. So please just make sure you're following up. And thirdly, referrals. Don't be afraid to ask for referrals. I have been lucky enough, this year, right, I've had a lot of people just come to me with referrals and bringing 1, 2, 3 friends along with them. But I think this is something that we feel like we can't ask for, and I'm actually going to try to do a better job, even myself this month, by asking people who are signing up, hey, do you have a friend that wants to do this with you? I also offer $10 gift cards for anybody that refers a friend, a current customer that refers a friend. But then if I get a new customer that refers a friend, I give the new customer a $10 gift card, and I give the friend a $10 gift card. So when the 21-day fix is on sale for $140, they are basically getting it for free. So whatever that amount that you want to do, I just feel like $10 makes it worth their while. And they're really appreciative. And sometimes they're like, oh, wow, I'm going to get even more people involved. So don't be afraid to ask for referrals. And then lastly, this, I would say this is a really big key to my success when 21-day fix is on sale 2 months in a row. Upgrade your 21-day fix customers to 21-day fix extreme and sign them up as a coach with it. I did that a lot in February, and I did that a lot in July. So I always go back to my 21-day fix customers, and we talk about getting the discount on Shakeology or coaching, and when we upgrade them with the extreme. And sometimes they're not ready for extreme, but I always say, well, you may not be ready for the extreme now, but I bet you're going to be ready in a couple months. So it's always great to have, and they get the best deal on it by signing up with the challenge pack. So that is just a little tip if you're not doing it. I found that has worked really well for me. And then lastly, never, ever, ever give up. I set goals for myself every month, but once I hit those goals, I don't stop working. I don't just say, okay, I'm just gonna sit back, I'm not gonna do anything. And I really like to crush my goals. So if you do that, set your goal and just keep going, I promise you will be successful. And in general, just never give up on this. I've totally committed myself to this, and I know that I've seen it from Megan, I've seen it from my upline Sarah. We've seen it from a lot of all these top coaches that they didn't give up. And I think that's the one thing that everyone has in common when you have a slow month, a rough month, and you're really feeling like, wow, this is hard. And you're sending like 200 messages to people, and you don't want to keep going, and you do, and you just keep going, and it pays off. So that's all that I have for you all. I would be happy to share my scripts with Megan.
That'd be awesome.
You want it, and she has this presentation that you all can refer back to.
Yes. Ellen, I don't know if you can see on the sidebar, there's a chat window.
Yep.
You can see it?
Yep.
So if anybody has questions for Ellen, I do have myself unmuted, so I don't know how loud this music is to you guys. If it's too loud, I can mute myself again. But,
it's not.
Okay, good. So Jennifer asks, do you give the $10 gift card for those referrals who purchase or just for the referral? The referral?
Okay, if I have a new customer that joins that says, okay, I have a friend that wants to do it too. So if they're both new, they both get a $10 card. And usually it's like, I do like Amazon, Target, or Starbucks, and I just send it via email and just make it really easy. So they both get it. But if I have a current customer that bought, a while ago, and they refer a new person, only the current customer gets it. So it's basically like, more if they're both new.
Gotcha. And I wanted to just, there's a lot of good nuggets in here, and I want to listen to this again because there's a lot of little pieces, and I hope you guys all do re-listen to this, and I hope you took some great notes. There's a lot of really good things in here. I want to mention a few of them, and feel free to ask questions. But something that people may not be familiar with, you mentioned paying the dollar, and not everyone may be familiar with that. If you have a like page, and you want to message somebody who has, liked your page, I always do that. I always send people a message to thank them. If you're not friends with them, to make sure that message gets to them, you have to pay $1. And at some point when it became realistic with my income in the business, I've paid that dollar, and like Ellen was saying, it can be worth it. So I just wanted to clarify that if people were like, what is she talking about, $1? If you don't have a like page, you may not be familiar. And this is a unique idea. You do a 21-day fix group every month. That's not something that I do. So my question is to you, do you have another running challenge group every month that's not specific to the 21-day fix?
I have a general accountability group that I started last summer when I first signed up as a coach. I only ran general accountability groups when I first started. And I have about 60 people in there, probably 3 people that are posting still. And that's the only other group that I run. And I don't generally like to invite anybody in there because I post workouts. I don't do daily posts because I've done it all. They've seen it for months and months and months. So no, I literally just do the 21-day fix, and the 21-day fix is the 21-day fix or 21-day fix extreme is all I sell. Now in January, I did do an Insanity Max 30 group.
Okay.
And I did both. I did a 21-day fix and then a Max 30.
Gotcha. Okay.
And I was doing Max 30, but I was in the group. Everybody knew I was doing it in the 21-day fix group. Everybody knew I was doing Max 30. I just told them that's what I was doing.
Gotcha. So Kristen asks, is your accountability group a challenge group or just a free accountability group?
Well, it's free but they have to pay. They have to have bought a 21-day fix challenge pack or the 21-day fix program. I have had this month a lot of people who have the 21-day fix but are converting over to me for a coach or whatever. Like I'll let them in, and but yeah, they've had to buy the challenge pack, and generally almost 90% of the people or have bought the challenge pack, so they have Shakeology. Yeah. Right.
A couple things I wanted to kind of reiterate that you mentioned that were huge to me is you're hitting is how important, like you are very consistent with your social media. That's why these things work. These scripts and things aren't going to work if it's not obvious what's going on in your life. And she said that she posts 2 to 3 times a day. So if you go follow Ellen on Facebook, her profile or her like page, you'll see that it's pretty obvious why people are coming to her because she's making it very clear what she's doing. And I loved how you said you end with the question. This is something that I tell my coaches, never end your conversation with, let me know what you think. I think that's just like the kiss of death when you say, let me know what you think. And it's so natural. It rolls off the tongue. It's a natural thing to say, let me know, because that leaves it too open-ended for people to not. So when you end with a question, it's like you're inviting a response. And I love the question, can you see yourself doing this? Because that naturally gives people imagery of them doing something. It's like, and that makes someone more likely to commit. So I love that you said and you always ended it with a question.
And
So it leaves the ball in their court.
I was going to say, you can say, because I think I did say, let me know what you think or if you would like to order, which I don't generally like to say that either. But actually what I prefer to say is, after I've said, you know, could you see yourself doing this? They say yes. Then you say, would you like me to send you the link to order? Instead of let me know, yeah, you just say, would you like me to send you the link to order?
Right. And I love that you said, don't be afraid to send 4 follow-ups, because it's so true. You said, you mentioned the girl who you scrolled back through the message and you followed up with her 4 times and she never responded. And it's those same things. We procrastinate, we mean to get back to somebody, we're thinking about it, we forget. I wish I had the statistic to pull up for you now, but there's this big sales statistic and I've shared it months ago. What is it? It's something like 80% of sales are made after the 5th follow-up, the 5th. And so many of us drop it after the 1st and 2nd because we hate to feel like we're harassing anybody. But when you think about that, 80%, and that's all relationship building. And sometimes it's hard for us to see it as that. So that's a great nugget to take back.
I did another, I had a girl this week too, who I, yet again, probably sent like a 3rd follow-up, maybe a 4th. And she finally got back to me and she actually was like, oh, I'm doing the Advocare cleanse. But she said, but thanks for getting back to me. It's great for the accountability. You know, she said, actually, I'm thinking I might want to do Shakeology after this or the 21-day fix or something. So even so, at least like she finally got back to me and she said, you know, oh, it's, yeah, she liked it, that I was like checking in on her. And that's, I mean, that's kind of how you can position it too. And, you know, just checking in to see how you're doing with your goals. I know you were excited about, let's just say the 21-day fix when we first talked. You know, so you've got to get rid of all your fear about what people are going to think about you. If they're a person and, you know, if they're annoyed by you, then they're annoyed by you. I will say, I don't bug like really good friends. You know, I'm not going to harass my close friends or anything, but most of the generally, you know, 99% of the people I'm talking to, I'm not afraid to send the 4 follow-ups. So.
Right, and those people that you're talking about, those are people who are comfortable saying no to you anyway.
Exactly.
So you don't need to follow up with them 4 times, but sometimes it's people that it's different. What was I going to say? Oh, I've had several people after that 4th or 5th time have said, thanks so much for not giving up on me. And I've loved that. And that is so comforting because sometimes I still feel like I'm harassing people because you never know without the feedback. But I've had it countless times people say, thank you for not giving up on me. Thank you for checking back with me. So it's just have that perspective. There's a couple more questions I wanted to see if we can. Diana asked, did you say if you ever boost your posts?
Yes, I did not say that I did not tell you if I did. Yes, I do. I frequently do. And actually, in fact, I had a tough month in April, and April was the month where I was feeling really down. I went to Cancun and I was all excited and jazzed and blah, you know, and it was a really hard month. So in May, I thought I got, even the first couple of weeks in May were rough, and I thought I got to do something. And I boosted a 21-day fix post, and I went from being like really down in the dumps, probably like Success Club 2 to Success Club 17, probably within like a week, if not 2 weeks. I boosted a post or I did an ad or, you know, and it worked. And I think I paid $40 and I got 3 or 4 challenge packs from it. And then but I had a lot more, gave me a lot of people then conversations that spilled over into June as well. So for me, it was worth it. I believe, I don't know if I boosted it in June as well. I did not boost anything in July. And I actually just boosted one today too, just to see Team Cup, just to see. So I do. And to me, it's worth the payoff. If I sell, it usually gives me a couple of challenge packs. So if I have to sacrifice the price of one challenge pack, I'm okay with it. And I usually do like $35 to $40.
Okay. Amy asks, and I'm assuming that's how you say your name, Amy. She asks, what does that mean to boost your post? Amy, if you have a like page, you have the option to pay to put your post in the eyes of more people. It just gives it priority in news feeds, but that's only if you're using a like page. And I don't know what the dollar per how many eyes it's in front of, but you can do it in increments. You can pay $10, $20, $30, and then that will control how many more people get to see that. Because something people may not know is if you have a like page, Facebook limits how many people actually get to see that. So you might have 500 people who like that page, but a very small fraction of people actually see that, as opposed to your profile page. If you have 500 friends, many more people see those posts, because Facebook is a business and they want your money. So they give you the option to boost it.
I hear sometimes it's as low as 5% of people you're on your like page see your post. So yeah, and I'm at the point in my business where I feel like that's what's worked for me. I did not boost my post early on. So when I first started, I didn't do that. It's just something that I've started doing probably this year.
Mm-hmm. Michelle comment, Megan's kept up with me for the longest time, and I finally caved and committed and now sent it as a coach. Yep, I followed up with Michelle. I harassed her. She gave in. Thanks for sharing, Michelle. Is there a certain time frame that Emily, I think she means Ellen, uses for her 4 follow-ups? Is there a certain time frame that you use?
No, occasionally I've heard, honestly, sometimes it's weekly. Sometimes it might be monthly. Usually, if I start a conversation and they get back to me, and we're getting there, and we're like getting down to the end, and then I get crickets and they don't get back to me, then I will get back to them the next week, and I will basically follow up with them up until my accountability group. And then I might let it go for a couple, if I just feel like, okay, I'm gonna let it go. So that might be like follow-ups. And because it was like, hey, where'd you go? I mean, we were just talking, and all of a sudden they dropped off, which I've had tons. I've even given them the link, instructions to order, the whole nine yards. And I will basically go through, and then I start following back in monthly with those people. So then it send 5 follow-ups, then it might become more, because then you're just getting into doing a monthly thing. That's kind of where my follow-up comes into play, where I'll just go in and follow up with all those people that haven't gotten back to me in months, and I kind of go through there too. So.
Okay, I'm going to take these last questions, and these two kind of are the same. Ashley asks, at what point should we make a page? And then Rachel asks, when should you decide to make a like page, and how do you choose what to post on your personal profile / like page? I feel like if I post it all on my like page, then I will miss out on more potential customers that don't know about a like page. Okay, I'm going to give you my kind of take on it, and I don't know, and I really don't know. I don't think there's a right answer, and then Ellen can share what her how she feels. I started a like page immediately because at the time when I did it 2 years ago, Facebook was not as strict on who got to see stuff. But what I advise my new coaches to do is to really use their profile page mainly, and until they're trained, until they feel like they have a little bit of a following, they've established themselves as a coach. Immediately is not a good idea. I mean, you can start it, but it's not going to be a business builder. So I don't mind if people want to. I don't mind if they start it. But just to start building it, just to get content in there. But I think it's going to be a distractor in the beginning stages of your business. Your profile page is plenty necessary, plenty sufficient. Once you started to establish yourself as a coach and you start to have a little bit more of a following, it's good to have that like page to start I don't have a good algorithm for what goes on both pages, but I do know that my fitness page is more fitness focused because that's my business. Sometimes I duplicate, sometimes I put different content. I don't always know the answer. I struggle with that still, what goes on what. So Ellen, what do you do?
I agree. I created a like page right when I started because that was it was like my sponsor, she had a like page and it was like, oh, we gotta have a like page. That's like the thing that was like at the time. And I think it like quickly changed actually. At the time, same thing was like what you do. It also felt like safe for me to post there. I kind of felt like, oh, well, now I've got this like page, so I can like post about health and fitness there, and I can't post about that on my personal page. I totally agree with Megan. I would not start out with a like page now either, and I have had some of my coaches before I changed my thinking start out with some like pages and they struggle. They don't have any followers and they don't get any traction on their like page. And this is the thing. If you were a person that did not post on Facebook before you were a Beachbody coach, your post go into nobody's newsfeed, because if you're not interacting with anybody on Facebook, and they're not interacting with you, like nobody's going to see them, and you have to interact on other people's pages. You have to like and comment on your friends' post in order for them to see your post. So that's one thing that you really need to work on as a new coach too. If you're not one of those people that, like most of us probably, is just being more present on Facebook to begin with, so you can actually get your post into the news feed. So that's kind of like my number one tip. And then two, just establish, as Megan said, just start establishing yourself on your personal page, because then once you do go over to your like page, you're going to have to tag yourself in every single post, and you're going to have to share every single post. So it's essentially the same thing. I probably had to do that until maybe like March. I mean, I did that for a long time, and now occasionally it just depends what the post is. But yeah, so absolutely don't, but it is a great idea to get into a like page once you establish yourself, because as I said, I can pay for some advertising. There's just some more options of things that you can do with running a business.
Great stuff, Ellen. Thank you so much for your time. That was, really super helpful for me, and I know for the team. Guys, follow Ellen on Facebook, see how she uses for social media. Ashley says you have permission to be on Facebook more. Yeah. So, I think a big tip is to follow successful coaches, see what they're doing, try what they're, try what they're doing, make it your own. Don't be afraid to make mistakes. Try things, see if they work, see if they flop. That's how you do it. That's how we all do it. So follow some of these successful coaches. Try out some things. But again, Ellen, we're very fortunate that you're able to spend this time with us tonight. Thank you again for your advice.
Yeah, and everybody can feel free to reach out to me with questions too. So that's fine.
All right. Well, good night. Thank you. Guys have a great night.
Okay. Bye.